Let me bring in General Tiny Dhillon and we'll continue this conversation. General Dhillon, how difficult would an operation like this be in that Dachigam forest area that starts not far from where your core headquarters was, from the Badami Bagh cantonment? That's where the Chinar Corps headquarters is. How far from there were these terrorists hiding, and how difficult is it to mount a military operation like the one that was mounted, Operation Mahadev?
Gaurav, good evening and good evening to all your viewers. Just to explain the terrain which exists in that area. As you said, Badami Bagh cantonment, behind that there is a hillock, and further behind that and in between the Srinagar-Sonamag highway is this Mahadev Ridge and Dachigam forest. Dachigam is a national park, and it goes into the Dachigam valley, goes into Mahadev Ridge. And if you walk along Mahadev Ridge, which is a very densely vegetated ridge, and go further east of Tralbaul in the village Lam and further on to Mahadev Ridge, you can actually hit Pahalgam, the Baisaran Valley, without having to cross any major river or any major township or big villages. You would come across small hamlets, you would come across deras as they are called, the small little living places for the nomads or the Gujjars and Bakarwals, and you can come into Dachigam forest. As was being explained, it's a very difficult terrain. It's a very thickly vegetated jungle. And I always say primary, secondary, and tertiary jungles. And at times, the undergrowth is 8 to 10 feet high. And the big trees being anything up to 100 feet and beyond. And the visibility at places, intersect visibility is down to 2 meters. That means if a person walking ahead of you, you miss him by 2 meters, you just miss him. You have to shout at him. And in such a terrain, when you are, trailing a terrorist group of say about 3 people or whatever, it is very difficult because you are not getting the line of sight. The communication equipments in this type of terrain, in this thick vegetation, don't work. And even the satellite links don't work properly. Mobiles don't work here. So there's a lot of terrain analysis and terrain knowledge which you have to have. There's a lot of reading of the previous movements in this area, as also a lot of appreciation of where the terrorists can go, which area has more number of OGWs and sympathizers, and it's all military appreciation.
So military appreciation.
Hats of the team which was trailing it, that did it to the precision that these people were literally caught napping. And when the security forces hit that temporary hideout, as it is called, because it's just a sheet of polythene on top, and these people are resting. And the 2 factors which came up in your discussion, one is they were fatigued. That means they were being chased and they were running, or they were always on the move for last few days. Secondly, the point came up that he has lost weight. He has lost weight not to change the look. He has lost weight because for last 3 months, the security forces were denying them the access to the villages and the rations. There could only probably would have been very few places where they could have accessed food. So naturally, lack of food would have made sure that they lose weight. But notwithstanding, identification, confirmation would bring out a lot of clarification.